that doesn't even make sense to me because the mower and all of it, whatever. And she goes, let's just go through the house. And I'm like, go through the house? We can't go through the house.
Nobody's listening, right?
Hi, Andy.
Hello.
So excited to talk with you for an hour so no one's listening.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wonder, though. The question keeps eating away at me. Are there people out there?
Yes, I'm going to fly through two real fast. One from Apple, from Barry in a Hurry.
Oh, I thought you meant Apple left a review. I was like, whoa.
Thank you, Apple. Barry in a Hurry, which I really like, says, love it. Such a great way to chill out and have a giggle. Andy and Elizabeth have such a great way of talking about the real stuff with the perfect amount of ribbing.
Oh, It's for her pleasure.
I'm sorry, that was so delayed. And by delayed, I mean like 3 seconds. It should have been a nanosecond. This next one's from Spotify, from Pluto. The planet.
Oh, the planet.
Yeah, we got some
Apple,
heavy
Pluto.
fucking hitters today.
Wow.
Elizabeth, is your Mahjong losing streak due to Andy's curse? As I recall, he said you're going to lose at Mahjong unless you said he can win at Rocket League.
I'm in such a pickle because
You keep losing.
I think it might be related.
You keep losing.
And
You've only won like once since the new card and the curse came out.
I won 2 games at the cabin.
I'm sorry, 2 games.
No, and I've won 2 with our family.
Oh, you're playing a bunch of complete newbies. Yeah, sure. Okay.
I lost against a complete newbie twice. Like a complete newbie.
You lost against me the first time I ever played.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it might be, but I have learned in my lifetime with you, you can't be phony. You can't fake how you feel. And so...
This is why it's infuriating to me. You really don't think I can win anymore, do you? Or it's not that... What is it? You know sometimes I can't win.
Well, I relate to the feeling now because I think you've had a fall from grace. And I've had a fall from grace. But my fall from grace is very tied to the year of the card. Okay. Now, Kulop has come in like, and not that she wasn't doing well on 24, but she plays 2025 like nothing I guess I did see it and it was in myself last year. But she's just winning left and right. Now, Laura did win overall at the cabin. Laura's a sleeper. She's quiet. You don't think she's not out there bragging like the rest of us.
If you were the face of 2024, Kulop's the face of 2025?
I do think so, yes.
Gotcha.
And so, but I always have 26 around the corner. Now, for Rocket League, I don't know what year 26 is.
Sorry, I stopped listening. What did you say?
For Rocket League?
Yeah. Wait, you're saying you always have 2026?
Yes, I have that waiting ahead.
I'm glad that you have that sort of goal and that's going to fuel you. But oftentimes, once you fall from being the champ, it's hard for the champ to get back on top again.
It's like...
You start losing momentum. You start losing
Ricardo.
confidence. Sure, that's an F1 reference. Some might say a much better reference could be Lewis Hamilton. You know?
Correct.
If we're going to use
yes,
F1
I was
references.
the Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari. I had Toto.
No, that's Mercedes.
I had Toto as my coach. We had a real father-son bond.
Which is important
beautiful.
to you. You like that? You love a father-son bond.
Okay.
More than a father-daughter bond.
I do, but this is going to segue us into something I need to talk to you about. We haven't spoken of it. You were out of town.
Yes.
Okay. Our child's school, we had a Memorial Day program at their school. And one of our children read a 3-paragraph thing about the significance of taps.
Whoa.
Did you forget about this? Did you watch any of the videos I sent you?
Did not watch the video.
Okay. I knew it.
Well,
because you would have, I sent you this stuff. You were dealing with a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
So it's all good.
And the time that video came, I literally can remember where I was when the video came in. Not appropriate for me to look at it then. But okay, go on.
Okay, so there's a Memorial Day program at their school. It's a big deal. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was.
You've been to it. This will be your 4th time.
No. I didn't go last time. There was a helicopter event or something. I don't know. You said a helicopter went really low.
At what?
At the Memorial Day event years prior?
No.
Okay, the kids, I don't think we've been.
I've been, but anyways.
It's like the entire school is out, all set up. There's a flag set up. This time they had veterans there. They had like 20 veterans.
They really went for it this year.
They went for it. It was a big deal. It took like an hour and a half, which I also wasn't prepared for. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No.
You can't take an hour and a half out of your day to
honor
these people. Okay.
No. It was incredible, and I'm going to get into all of that.
Okay.
But also, a little interesting. I was sitting next to our friend who has a trans kid, and it's like a little interesting going through the I pledge allegiance to the flag under God. Some of the stuff that I find problematic with our country right now.
Being a patriot?
Well, I do think the far right has, seeing an American flag emblazoned with an eagle across a truck gives me a vibe.
Like it used to hit. It doesn't hit the same. Okay, sure.
Why did they get the flag?
Yeah, it doesn't hit right. Okay, sure.
They're not being American. We should have the flag.
Take it back. That's what I've been saying.
Well, maybe
Take it back.
that's what this Memorial Day event was. It was incredible.
Okay.
Our son read 3 paragraphs, introducing what taps are before a military veteran played the taps on the trumpet.
You said what taps are. Is that,
did
you mean to say it that way?
The symbolism of taps.
Okay.
You know what taps are?
You said it again. Do you know what taps are?
Yeah.
Do you mean the musical piece called Taps?
Yes.
They played taps.
Yes.
Do you know what taps is? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Or am I wrong? Because I'm okay being wrong
plural.
here.
I guess it's not tap though.
But you're saying it's one piece of music. You could say, oh, they're playing taps. It's not a collection of different ditties that all share a similar thing, right?
Okay,
right?
Okay. Anyway.
It would be like he read about the significance about the Star Spangled Banner, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we're on the same page.
Taps. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was very nervous. He did such a great job. And he was the youngest person who spoke at this thing in front of 400 people,
Awesome. Some of them veterans.
He was clear veterans.
Mm-hmm.
They also read out the names of people who had fallen veterans and their families. What? I guess they didn't become veterans. That's not why you're laughing. Okay.
I know what you mean by fallen veterans.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a picture of falling, but that has to do with other things going on in my life, of just someone literally falling.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Go on.
Okay. This is not the vibe. It was very respectful and somber and beautiful. Students read poems, and it was really incredible. They also read the names of people who had veterans who did not die during service. And they read my dad's name, which was very moving.
Yeah.
I forgot that my grandfather also served. He was a bombardier, but
you didn't sneak that in
didn't
time?
Sneak that in.
Didn't raise your hand?
Okay. So, but there were a few notable things. One little thing was God is pretty infiltrated in a lot of the stuff. There's the Pledge of Allegiance mentions God.
Which is interesting, I think you're also saying, because there is supposed to be a separation of church and state in general, yet some of our older traditions, God is in these things, right?
Yes. Real quick tangent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading my friend Jane Borden's incredible book called The Cult of Us.
I want to read that. I never will, because I'm still reading the book I started 8, 9, 10 years ago or whatever. But every time I see the book, I'm like, that's really up my alley.
It is so up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
It is so fascinating. And it's all about how the kind of our entire United States as we know it was founded in religious like zealotry and extremism and a cult, really. And like Christopher Columbus, his whole mission to find these riches everywhere was so that he could pay for an army to take over like Jerusalem and trigger the Book of Revelations, meaning the end of the world. The Puritans who settled in Massachusetts, their whole thing was trying to get the end of the world to start, like so that they could be chosen and go to heaven and everyone else is suffering in hell. The person who is responsible for the separation of church and state actually did it because he felt like the church wasn't taking God seriously enough, having it being involved with government.
Okay.
Like it actually, he was so extremely religious is the opposite of how we view it. Is kind of interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, so yes, church and state. And then there's this whole thing about this like table that the military does, and it has a rose with a red ribbon honoring those who have fallen and all of this beautiful stuff. It was very, and a military serviceman was there with his white gloves on, showing everything. And there's a Bible there, which I guess it, counts as like spirituality, but just thinking about how multicultural like our school is and the world is and how many different religions are serving in the U.S. Army, which is interesting. I'm going to work up to the two main things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
One thing was there was a dad of a kindergartner there filming.
Yeah.
He had like 3 cameras going all at once. I was like,
We had a tripod and stuff? Or
There was like a neck thing, and then he was holding 2 phones. And one had a close-up shot, and one had a wide shot. And I was like, what is happening? I was so impressed by it. But I was sitting behind him so I could see.
Wait, and where was the third camera? On his neck?
Uh-huh.
Crazy.
It was pretty wild.
So, and was this just for documenting, or do you think he said like, oh, I'll help capture it?
This was for his kid and his kid only.
Whoa.
But I'm like, is he editing this all together to be like Sadie's Memorial Day?
yeah, it sounds like it, and I respect it. Okay.
I know, it's so much work.
Okay.
Getting to what really happened.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with my friend. It's packed.
You're sitting or standing?
Sitting on like benches.
Oh, everybody's sitting?
Yes.
I've never seen that at the school.
See, this felt like a different situation.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, someone goes up to the microphone and says, I want to introduce a very special person who is here. And he hasn't seen his daughter in a long time. This happened at school. A military dad was there, and he comes up, and his daughter is in 1st grade.
Shut the fuck.
I looked at my friend. I go, is this happening?
What?
We witnessed it. Now, the daughter...
Oh, no, didn't quite go how everybody was hoping.
It was just awkward, because he hadn't seen her in a while, and the daughter's in 1st grade, and there are 400 people watching, but he's standing there, and she like... Everyone's looking like, where's the kid? And then the teacher has to be like, go hug him. She hasn't seen the Instagram video. She doesn't know like the performance we're all expecting.
Because it's so I hate to even do this. Is it safe to say they didn't get like a viral clip of this?
No, it wouldn't have been viral, but it was so touching.
Yeah,
And yes, she ran up and gave him a hug.
Oh my God.
And then went and sat back down and...
Wow. Waterworks, a lot of waterworks.
Waterworks.
Okay. Including you?
Yes. Tempered by how kind of awkward it seemed.
Okay. Yeah.
But...
Wow. Okay. I have so many questions and probably not even worth looking into because who needs these answers?
Yeah.
This is not the place. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting.
Yes. Now,
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God. Wow.
So then our incredible principal read some words at the end of the event. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're all pretty tired at this point and kind of like ready to go. But
okay. Jeez.
I don't know. There are a lot of service people connected to our schools. So they're like a lot of names.
Yeah. Took a little bit longer than you were hoping, it sounds like.
Just hadn't planned it in my day. I was so proud of our kids. Every single child went up and put roses or flowers at the base of the flag.
Wow.
Our principal, who is incredible. I truly both of our kids were students of the month recently. No, I guess that's a pretty big flex. But I was up at the cabin with my friends and we were watching it, and I felt like they were like, your principal is so incredible.
Yeah, my folks were watching that Zoom as well, and my mom especially was like, wow, that principal's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. So she says some final words. Now, I am also feeling a little conflicted. You're hearing about who lost their lives, and I think that sometimes, obviously, war is necessary to right great wrongs, but then obviously war is used and relied on in ways that shouldn't be, and it's happening right now. Our principal gets up there, and these are her parting remarks, and I thought she just did it. I asked her for this.
You did?
Read, and she gave me permission.
Okay.
I thought it just so perfectly thread the needle of honoring and respecting the bravery of our service people, but not celebrating violence.
Okay.
And for these young minds, and, because the whole thing does feel so like reverent and like, ultimately what we're talking about is a lot of death and war, and it's intense.
War?
Yeah. Today, she first took time to pause and reflect on the lives and stories of the individuals who gave everything. Then she said, today we remember those we have lost, not because of the conflicts they fought in, but because of the love and courage they showed in protecting others. They were members of families, of communities just like ours, and they deserve our deepest gratitude. We also honor those among us who continue to serve. We are especially proud to welcome our honored guests here today who have served with bravery and selflessness. It is our privilege to have you. As we reflect, we also look forward to a future where we do not need war to solve our problems. A future where we honor and respect each other's differences, knowing that our diversity makes our community stronger, kinder, and more beautiful. Let us commit ourselves to using our minds and hearts instead of weapons to create solutions. Let us be peacemakers. Let us listen more, care more, and work together to build a more just and loving world. And then she goes on to invite them for refreshments and stuff. Isn't that incredible?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Well done.
I know.
Wow. It sounds like this really had a nice impact on you.
It really did. I mean, listen, you think about the bravery of people who sign up to go do this. And my father and grandfather were two of those people. And I feel like we live in this privileged bubble where, that has never been once on my radar as an option for my life.
Yeah.
But the people who do that, I mean, it's selfless bravery. And my hope is just that it is used for good,
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you have to talk about today? Some bullshit?
Yeah, I was up in Boise, Idaho, visiting my folks. I had a very jam-packed, wild weekend. Some good, some bad. It was kind of intense in some ways, but a lot of stuff happened. I'm going to share the more sunshiny stuff that happened.
Okay.
So a few things happened. I was helping my folks with a bunch of different things. I had my best car lease situation of maybe all time that I might need to tell you about. I went to the salon with them, and I had an incident with a snake. So I don't know where you want to start. Should we start with the snake?
Yes.
Now, I need to put a trigger warning here. If you don't need to hear about a snake death, maybe jump forward a few minutes. Also, if
Can I jump forward a few minutes?
Maybe do you not want to hear the story?
No, obviously I need to hear it.
Now, this is the other big announcement. If you are my niece, you cannot hear this story because I've been told by your father that you really do not want to hear this story.
Molly.
So just turn the podcast off, actually.
Also,
Okay.
never listen to, please don't ever listen to this podcast.
I'm okay with our niece. She's pretty cool. She's older, you know.
Okay.
That's the least of my worries of relatives listening to our show. Let me just say that. Okay.
Okay.
She can hang. Okay. So, oh boy. My mom comes in. It's not around dinner time. I'm sorry.
And you're staying with your folks.
Yeah, I'm staying with my folks. I had been hanging out with my brother. We stopped at Panda to get some food to bring home.
Okay.
We got Panda Express, which my brother called Panda, which I think is really funny.
Wait, real fast, because we talked about this last night.
Mm-hmm.
So he said we'll go to Panda.
No.
And did you know that he meant Panda Express?
No, yeah. And he might have said Panda Express the first time. It was just in all of the talks about Panda Express, Panda, singular, was used a lot too. He
Does
definitely
he think
said Panda
there
Express.
is a Panda?
No.
Okay.
No. He
And
definitely
he
knows.
happens to just be going to the Express locations.
No. That being said, what if there was like an original Panda that wasn't so fast? That's not called Express. That is just called Panda. That would be awesome. We roll in with Panda and we are about to sit down to eat. And my mom goes, "Oh boy, I killed a snake." And we're like, "What?" And we're putting the bags of food on the dinner table. And she's like, "Yeah, we got to do something about it." And I was like, "Mom, please, let's talk about this after dinner." And she keeps talking. And my brother starts like freaking out. And he's like, "Mom, not now. Like, not now. We'll talk about it after dinner." And there's some conversation about like who's going to deal with it. And
But what does deal with it mean?
Well, we don't even know, and we don't want to know because
you got Panda.
We got Panda, and the similarity between a dead steak and Panda is too close too. It's just too close, right? So we're all just like, "Mom, stop it!" But she keeps trying to give like some details, and I finally say, "I will take care of it just after dinner. I do not want to, like, can we stop talking about it?" And so she says, "Yes." We eat our dinner. It was horrible. It was not, and no dig at Panda Express. I've had Panda
That's
Express.
a pretty big dig.
I've had it before where I've been like, "Oh, this is pretty good. Maybe I'll come back here for lunch." It is a quick, reasonably priced lunch. This was not hitting. Okay. No one enjoyed it. The Beijing beef was off. Okay. Snaky. So dinner ends and my brother's helping my dad with installing like something in the bathroom. Something has to do with like drills and stuff. That's happening in the bathroom. I tell my mom, "I'll take care of the snake." Where is the snake? It's basically in their front yard next to the driveway. And I said, "Well, what are we going to do with it?" This is a dilemma.
Did you find out how she killed it?
Yeah, it was a lawnmower accident.
It was a lawnmower accident.
Yeah.
Was she out there mowing the lawn?
Yeah, she loves mowing the lawn.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of mower does she have?
I'm not sure.
A push?
It's a gas push. Yeah.
And so she's out there going...
I don't know if it's self-propelled or...
She's doing
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
go Mary.
But she loves it. She loves mowing the lawn. She wasn't
She's
happy.
So fucking cute. I could just see her out there with a lawnmower and be like, "Hi" to every neighbor who passes, and then he'd like, "Oh dear," looking over and it's a snake.
So when our cat was alive, she would bring a lot of dead stuff sometimes, right? And you have to figure out, what are we doing with the dead thing?
Maybe 5 or 6 times.
Are we throwing it like in the trash? That always feels like a little disrespectful.
But we're not going to have a rat buried.
Yeah, but it is always something I think about when there is a dead animal that needs to be taken care of. This is a snake. And I say, like, what should we do with it?
Is it bloody?
I feel... Yeah, well, I haven't even seen the snake at this point.
Oh.
I'm more trying to figure out what are we going to do before I go take care of
Probably
it.
bag it.
Well, I'm thinking maybe bag in a grocery bag or something. But I said, should we just throw it in the trash? That doesn't feel that nice. And then my brother says, why don't you throw it into the gully and just let nature do its thing? So the gully is...
Your family, by the way, the way you complicate matters.
No, this is actually better, I think. it starts making a lot of sense to me. The Gully is behind their house. There is like an area that is not their house, not their property, and not the other people's property. It is like an overgrown, wild area. And so my brother's like, maybe you just like put it there. A hawk will come get it or something. And we're thinking that's better than just leaving it in the front yard, because how long is that going to take for the hawk to whatever. So I'm on board with the
So now
Gully.
there's an imaginary hawk that you guys are relying on?
Yeah. But I'm on board with Gully over bagging and putting in the trash. I'm just like, it just seems more natural.
Okay.
It's going to go back to nature.
Sure.
So I have to get the snake. I decide on using a paper towel to pick it up.
You have gloves on?
No gloves.
Really?
Yeah, no gloves. And I need to say that my brother, I didn't realize how grossed out and freaked out by snakes he was. He wanted no part of this at all.
Yeah.
So I go outside. We find the poor snake.
How big?
It's very skinny. So it is like a little yard snake, but I would say length, but probably 18 inches.
Oh,
But it's a skinny
little
little
guy.
guy. And
Green?
I would say a little darker with green, and we have some red. It's a situation because of the mower and all, you know.
Was it chopped into pieces? Like what does
Not
what did the mower do to it?
it killed it. Yeah.
It's not cut up.
No, there's cuts, but it's just it had, I don't know. It's hurt by the mower, and it's bloody, and
And it wasn't moving.
no.
It's lifeless.
So I pick it up, and then I go over to the door to get back to the backyard, but I can't figure out how to open it. And I asked my mom.
And is it like dangling?
Yeah, I'm holding it, and it's And so I can't open the gate. I'm like, Mom, will you open the gate? And she's like, I don't know how, that doesn't even make sense to me because the mower and all of it, whatever. And she goes, let's just go through the house. And I'm like, go through the house? We can't go through the house. And she's like, it's no big deal. Let's just go through the house. And so I'm like, you really can't open the gate? And she's like, I don't know how. And then so I go to the front door and I open it and I yell at my brother. I'm like, Matt, we have to come through the house. Do not look out of the bathroom. So it's turning into like a huge ordeal, right? And it's already starting to get like a little funny, sort of, but it's fucked up. But my mom's already kind of like giggly about it. And so we're yelling at my brother not to look. And then I'm walking through their house with carrying this dead snake. We get to the backyard and I tell my mom, I'm like, we have to say like something sort of nice, right?
Yeah.
And so I say a little something and my mom.
What did you say?
I don't know. Whatever you can imagine. Like,
You say, I'm sorry, my mom killed you? Like,
no, I don't think we said that, but we said like, good luck on your next journey.
oh, that's
that
very
kind
sweet.
of that kind of.
Your mom didn't apologize or anything?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Okay.
She felt bad about it for sure. And I don't know if she relayed that to the snake. I can't remember. But so we're standing back there and we say our little thing. And then it's time for the huck, if you will. And so I go for the huck and I didn't give it enough huck. And so it hits the fence. And my mom immediately starts losing it laughing. Just like you are. Which I just didn't expect to happen. And I felt so bad. It thumps against the fence and just falls at my feet, basically. Fortunately, round 2 was much, much better. And I got it over the fence.
Oh
and,
my God, that was so funny.
That was that, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So it was pretty good. We went to the salon, and the hairstylist was a very big character. Filled us in a lot about her dating life situation.
Yeah, no, there's one story that you can't share.
No.
Because it's so graphic.
It's so graphic,
that
I
you're
can't
sitting
share.
there with your 87-year-old dad and your 83-year-old mom, and told a story that we can't share on this show because it's too graphic.
We can't even share it on a Patreon episode.
You know what? I think we can.
I don't think so.
I think we can.
Okay, maybe. So here's one fun one that this really isn't my story to tell. So I will make it.
Just change pubic hair color and names.
Well, that's part of the interesting part. Is the pubic hair about this story? So that's hard to do. Actually, it's not hard to do, but it's a very important part of the story.
Isn't that weird that I just said that?
Oh, it's weird. It's very weird.
Oh, God.
It's kind of the perfect setup, honestly.
I haven't laughed this hard in a long time.
So, quick story, and if the lady hears this, I'm sorry I didn't ask if I could tell the story, but that's why I'll keep out a couple details, maybe. Here we go. She went to Vegas with some friends, and they're out in Vegas. They meet a group of guys, as that sometimes happens in Vegas. Been there. They're having a lot of fun with these guys. These guys seem to be a little younger. If the ladies are like 40 or late 30s, these guys are starting mid-20s to mid-30s. Okay, the range of guys. Nothing happens that night, though. Nobody's hooking up with anybody. Some of her friends are married, but they do have a lot of fun with these guys. So the salon, my parents' stylist, wakes up the next morning. And again, nothing happened with these gentlemen. Yeah, she's still in Vegas.
And none of them
hooked up or nothing. Yeah, they parted ways with these guys at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Okay.
So she wakes up, and around 10 a.m., she gets a Snapchat from one of the guys, and the guy she'd been vibing with the most.
Okay.
And it's just an ass pic. Okay? It's an ass pic of the guy.
And they hadn't hooked up.
They hadn't hooked up, but it's a photo of his ass. And she's like, we didn't hook up. And then in the morning
so
for this to come
in the bright light of day.
Yeah. Like you made that decision in the light of day and you sent an ass photo. But she's like, whatever. I don't remember what she said, like her response, but was like, nice looking ass, right?
She responded, nice looking.
No. I don't know exactly what she responded, but her mind was like, okay, but
sure.
Also with her girlfriend's like, this is weird. Like it's 10 a.m. and he just sent me an ass. It's a novel moment.
Yes.
And she's kind of expecting like, well, where's this going?
Sure.
She's thinking some pubes or a dick pic may follow at some point, right?
Pubes?
Well, I'm saying that's where I'm connecting your pubes.
Okay.
She's saying like...
No one's like...
Not a pube pic, but a dick pic.
Okay.
And I'm guessing most dick pics have some sort of pube action in it, right?
Typically.
A dick pic never comes, but more photos.
That's true. A dick pic does never come. That's true.
Dick pic never comes, but more photos come, and a lot more photos come over the next week. Every single...
Is she going home now?
Yeah, she's home. She's back in Idaho.
Yeah.
These guys, who knows? Are they in Vegas or in Utah? But life goes on, right? Photos keep coming. Every single photo is an ass pic.
Huh.
On one day in particular, she's out doing her day. She's busy. She opens up her Snapchat. There's 20 different ass photos.
Now, question. Has she replied to any of them? That's key.
Now,
I want to know.
I don't know the exact details of what the replies were like and how engaged she was with it.
But she didn't, stop.
She didn't shut it down, right? But she did say something like, but after the first few, it started to be like, okay, what is this guy's deal?
Why are you obsessed with your ass pic?
And so I'm saying, well, it must have been the situation, too, that, this guy must have, a gallery of ass photos on his phone.
Yes.
And she's like, no, because on Snapchat, you can tell the difference when someone sends a photo that was already in their on their photos versus when they're in app using Snapchat.
Wow.
So her breaking point was the day where she gets to her phone. She was busy. She's working with clients like my folks, whatever. And there's 20 new snaps all of this guy's ass. He's
Wow, what
he's in the shower,
confidence.
he's this, but it's only the ass.
Well, everyone has their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has their, like,
Asset, number one asset.
number one asset. Yes.
Yeah.
What is your parents' reaction to, like...
They just think even before we went, they were telling me, like, it's so fun to go get our hair cut here because we always get these crazy stories about her dating life.
Okay.
And, like, she's really funny and really cool. And so it is just, like, a very fun time. Very, very fun time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they got their haircuts. To finalize my trip, I want to tell you quickly about my lease
I'm
situation.
so excited for you.
I didn't even know I was walking into a lease weekend, but the day I get to my parents, they say, hey, our lease is up in about a month and a half. What should we do?
And did your heart sing a little bit?
I was buzzing all of a sudden.
Yes.
So I said, let me do a little research. Let me see if your current car that you're leasing is worth more than when you started leasing it.
Yeah.
It was by about $2,500. So I knew we could go get them a new car and I would have some bargaining power.
Leverage.
Leverage because their car is worth $2,500.
Before you get started on this, and I'm so happy for you, and I don't want to bring this up at the end of it, we've never really talked about this because you're the Lease King.
Yeah.
You do your research, you crunch all the numbers, you like the high you get from making a good deal.
Yeah.
But I recently turned my car in and it was my doing.
Yes.
And you had crunched the numbers and said it just doesn't make sense financially because you're going to have to pay several $1,000s to turn it in early.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well write out the lease. But I was like, we never used my car.
Yeah.
But I like kind of timed it perfectly.
Yes.
And saved us like $10,000 overall.
Yeah, I think so.
By doing what I did, and it had nothing to do with you. And does that hurt?
No, it doesn't
Does it
hurt. I feel
sting?
like you have been inspired by my love of leasing and you have a new understanding and you were like, I wonder if, and you were proactive.
Yes.
And things worked out in a crazy timing, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm proud of you and I'm so happy.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't feel
threatened
at all.
Okay.
No, because I do not think you could do what I do. I do not think you. I lied. I'm deceptive. So basically, the first day we got to figure out what kind of car my parents want. Do they want another Subaru? My mom's talking. She's always wanted a little Jeep. We go around. We don't even test drive. We just like look at a few different cars.
Mm-hmm.
We end up figuring out they're going to get another Subaru. This time they're going to get a Subaru Forester.
Great car.
Great car. We figure out which dealership we want to go to because it's closer to their house. That'll be nice. We see what colors they've got.
Ooh, what color did they get?
They ended up getting a cool middle gray. They originally wanted like a lighter, almost white. It was called like ice silver or something, but that one got sold the day before. Anyways, morning comes and my dad has a doctor's appointment. So we're like, we're going to drop him off. It's supposed to take a couple hours. We'll go to Subaru. We'll get the negotiation started. If everything's good, we'll bring my dad back after the doctor's appointment.
Great.
So we roll in. I had already texted in the morning saying we want to look at this one particular Forester. Can you have it ready? It's ready. We check it out. Everything's good. My mom and I are like, Jesus, Foresters are way nicer than we thought. So we're stoked. And we go to sit down with a nice young man.
Who never saw Andy Rosen coming.
Oh, they never see me coming. So we sit down with him, we're talking, and he basically does his round one of this is how much it will cost. I know the
and
car.
inside, are you laughing?
I'm ready for it. I know that the car itself is about a 35 grand car. I know that those are selling in Boise for anywhere between like 32 to 34. So I know there's wiggle room there.
Yeah.
And then I have a complete understanding of how leasing works, which revolves around something called the money factor and the residual, which I know exactly what those are for Boise for this trim of the Forester right now in time. Okay. So I'm so prepared. He has no idea. So he brings out the first thing and I see the numbers and I see that the money factor number is bullshit. It's not right.
Like, what is it?
Well, they're crazy numbers. It was like 0.00287 something. And I just knew it was different. And I
Okay.
have on my phone notes of all this. And I have all the different scenarios on my phone of like where I could get to price wise and how I might get to it. I'm very prepared. So I said, okay, this all looks good. And I can see where they're not bullshitting, right? I can see the prices I'm prepared for. They offer us $2,500 for the one they're trading in, which I'm like, that's exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah.
There's a lot here that looks good to me. So I got to hunt down the problems, and I find it with the money factor. So I say to this guy, this all looks good. This doesn't quite look right to me.
Wait, how you're just looking at the intensity that you're looking at me as you point to it. I can just imagine.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. Okay.
And to make this like easier to follow, we are going to end up being leasing, and it's going to be a monthly payment for my folks. And so when they bring it out to you too, they're highlighting what that monthly number is. So negotiation one, it's $519. Okay. Just that, keep that in mind.
Okay.
So I say, that doesn't look right. And he's like, no, that's what it is if you got top tier credit. And I was like, well, that's great. They definitely have top tier credit, but that's not looking right to me. I've done some research. And he's like, where have you done your research?
He said it like that?
Yeah. And so, but in a nicer way. But he's like, because I do think people come in and they think they know where there's times I'm sure they're wrong. I know I'm not wrong. But he's good enough that it makes me doubt myself a little bit. Oh, it does.
Okay.
But so I say, I've got a friend who does this. And so he was able to look it up for me. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, this is what it is. And so then I kind of just get on my phone, and it's just awkward times, right? Where
you just let it be awkward.
Yeah. And I'm looking.
How did your mom deal with that? Because she's not good at that.
She's fascinated by the whole thing.
Okay.
And she's just sitting there.
So she's not filling the silence.
I don't remember, because I'm kind of shaking a little bit, because I'm like, I got to get this done. So I'm in my phone. I'm now double checking, like, am I right? Because I really think I'm right. And I get more and more confident that I'm right. And then I say, you know what? Give me a second. I need to go make a phone call. And inferring like I'm going to double check on this. Right? So I go out. And I call my brother, and I tell my brother I'm just wasting time because I need this guy to think that I'm on the phone doing something, right? And so I come back in. He has meanwhile gone and talked to the manager, and he comes back, and the money factor has changed to very close to what the money factor was I was aiming for. So I'm like, well, here we go.
Yes.
So he fixed it.
Great.
But still, the monthly payment is now it's like $470, and that's too much. The way to get that down is to get the price of the car itself like down.
Okay.
They've already discounted it like $1,000. Long story short, I know I got to go in hard. I want to get to 400. That's my aim.
Whoa.
So I hit for 375.
Whoa.
I say, it feels like we're really far apart on this. I want to get to 375. And he's like, you're on another planet. Like, there is no way we could do that. We'd have to almost discount the car $2,800 to get there. And I'm like, I think you can find $2,800. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no way.
Andy.
And I'm saying, well,
I would be so uncomfortable.
And I was like, well, I've researched lately in Boise, there have definitely been Foresters that have sold for $2,800 less than this in this trim. And he's like, I don't know where you're getting your research, blah, blah, blah. And he says, let me go talk to my manager. Oh, wait, did he say that then? Basically, I said something where I leave again. And then I come back and I say, listen, I just talked to Napa, which is the other Subaru dealer. They're willing to do it for 400. And I said, if you can get to 400, great.
And was that a lie?
Yeah, I never called the other dealership. I said, if you can get to 400, great. If not, like, I'm going to go. And by the way, and he already knew, we got to go pick up my dad at the doctor's appointment. And he's like, how much time do you have? And I'm like, we got to go in like 5 minutes. And he goes,
Andy?
Okay, you have 5 minutes? And I go, yeah. And he's like, you don't want to go to that other dealership. You're going to get in there and it's going to end up being way more than 400 and all this stuff. And I'm like, we got to go pick up my dad. It was like working out so perfectly, like so perfectly.
I am like,
I'm also, but the adrenaline I have at this point is like, I'm on another cylinder. I am fucking cooking, right?
wow.
And so, this guy's told me like, it's absurd. I'm on another planet,
Yes,
And
yeah.
he's like, but now he's like, when you have to go 5 minutes, he's like, okay, just give me a second. And he goes, and then clock is ticking down and he comes out and he has this piece of paper and he goes, we can do it for $3.99. And I go, awesome. And I just shake his hand and I go, we'll be back. We're going to go get my dad.
Oh, from 519?
Yeah.
Andy, I'm also like, you talk a lot about being so principled and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have these, what I would consider like blind spots that you justify.
No, I'll tell you why. This is why I still think it's principled. I respect their craft, right? But they need to respect my craft. And I know that they're lying to my face.
Yes.
So the entire time
Yes.
they're lying to my face. And
Right.
if you're going to lie to my face,
Yes.
respect my craft.
That you're
Respect
also lying.
Yeah, respect my style. Okay? Because if you're going to sit there and
Yes.
lie to me,
Yes.
I'm going to lie to you.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Anyways,
I love
felt
this
very
side of
good.
you so much. It's like you come alive in a way that is, I can't believe you lied and said I just called Napa.
Yeah. Nampa.
And
I wonder how I am. I would love to see video of me because
like your energy, if you're like
because
a little bulldog
I think if you were
energy.
to look under the table, my hand might be shaking a little bit nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I probably have some tells, but I closed the
No,
deal.
but when you looked up and said, that doesn't seem right to me, the way your eyes were like laser beams into my eyes.
Yeah.
I think that you come across as very assured
Mm-hmm.
and no, like you're not messing around.
Yeah. And then I have to wonder, the other thing you have to realize in all of this is so much time goes into this that for me to like actually walk away for those guys, it's got to be like, God damn it. I put so much time into that.
I just went to my manager
I was so
already
close.
and
Then
got them. I changed the money factor and
Then they got to go tell the manager like he really did leave, and the manager's like, why did you close the deal? Right?
we're all about closing here.
Right.
Subaru closes.
Yeah. Anyways, they got a new
So
Forester, and
proud
I
of
love
you.
the Forester. I didn't know I liked Foresters so much. It is so nice once you're inside and the way they drive.
Maybe we'll get a Forester.
Maybe someday.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. What a high.
It was a high. I feel
And then-
buzzing talking about it right now.
How, what's the time difference between that closing that deal and the snake?
It was the next day. The snake was the next day.
Yeah. Gosh, you really had quite a trip.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said last night you wanted me to hear something about the podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. While I'm in Boise, I have some downtime at night.
Mhm.
I'm watching YouTube. I'm having a hard time sleeping. The pillows were shitty. And a YouTube video popped into my feed that was about this Stanford professor talking about AI. And I have pretty
Stanford or Stamford?
Stanford? Did I say Stanford?
Maybe, but I was like, Yale? I don't know.
Which one is it?
Stanford's,
The good one?
well, I don't think Yale is in Stamford. It's just in Connecticut.
Who's saying anything about Yale? Did I say Yale, professor?
No, you said
Stanford.
Oh, it's in New Haven.
Stanford's in New Haven? I'm getting really confused.
Okay,
There's a prestigious school.
Yes, Stanford University is the one I think you're talking about. When you said Stamford, I thought of Stamford, Connecticut, and I
Okay.
thought maybe that's where Yale is, but it's not. It's in New Haven. You mean Stanford.
Which is prestigious, right?
Yes.
Anyways.
Both are.
Great. Yale, yes, of course. So, anyways, I watched this YouTube video and it's pretty fascinating. This professor that was talking about AI, how he uses it and creative ways to use it. And I kind of hate AI, and that could be a whole separate rant. But this gets me a little curious. And then I'm killing time because I can't sleep. I'm just plugging some things into AI.
Mm-hmm.
I'm messing with Google's Gemini. I'm messing with ChatGPT.
Is that why one of our email accounts was like, you now have a free trial of Google AI and then
Yes.
every month it's going to be charged. Did you already cancel that charge?
No, but I have it set on my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's exactly why this happened. So then I get the idea, what if I do something on Nobody's Listening, right? Like have it do a research project on our podcast. And one thing that we've been trying to figure out is how to make our YouTube numbers better. We got great Spotify numbers, great Apple numbers. We've just never, the YouTube numbers, thank you for listening on YouTube if you do, but they're not that big.
Yeah.
So I make this prompt.
Like and subscribe.
I make this prompt that's like, hey, I have this podcast. You're a podcast YouTube expert. And I'm wondering if you can give me some ideas of how we can grow our YouTube channel. And I say, the show's called this. Here's a link on Apple. Here's a link on Spotify. You can check out our episodes. And our show is basically about this. And like I give it some information. Will you check this out? And it's like, yes, I would be happy to. And give me a few moments. And it comes up with like a 20-page report.
Whoa.
And I'm like, this is pretty
How
crazy.
many pages were about how good looking we are?
None, I don't think. And
does any of it say that we should be better looking?
I haven't actually read the report yet.
Oh.
That's a lot of reading.
That's a problem for us. Yeah.
But then there's this thing that says, would you like me to make this into a podcast for you to listen to?
Oh, so you listen to the report?
No. It then takes the report and makes a podcast based on the report. This is not just it reading the report.
Okay.
Because the report gets pretty technical. There's tables in the report. There's spreadsheets. This is like, do you want a summary of this research project as a podcast? And I said yes, and I'm going to play you the beginning. I've only listened to the first 30 seconds of this, and my head just about fucking exploded.
Really?
Are you ready for this?
I guess.
Here's the beginning of our research project on how to get our YouTube pumping more.
Okay.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
You know,
The
there's
deep
this
dive.
podcast I've been enjoying called Nobody's Listening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Elizabeth Lame and Andy Rosen. They're married, and they just riff on everything, like
Yeah.
mundane stuff, Costco trips,
Yeah.
but also big life things too.
Right.
They've got this really strong audio following.
Yeah.
Super honest,
Yeah.
funny. So today, we're going to dig into how they could maybe, boost that success on YouTube.
Exactly. We've taken a look at their YouTube channel as it is now and some data on similar podcasts, how they're making it work on video.
Okay.
So the mission for you today is really...
What?
This is not real.
What the fuck?
Can we listen to a few more seconds?
Yes.
The
Can you turn
lady-
it up in my ears a little bit?
The lady being like, yeah. Like how she's like trying to jump in is fucking crazy
The
to me.
only thing that sounds like AI is that he said, nobody's listening, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's saying it like,
You might have to turn up your headphones because I can't adjust
Oh,
the volume.
okay. Go ahead.
Ready?
to get the nuts and bolts of how nobody's listening
Right.
can use YouTube better. Not just for like subscriber numbers,
Right.
but to actually get those YouTube viewers over to the podcast itself, reach more people.
Okay, so let's start with the core appeal. What is it about Nobody's Listening? What makes people, hit subscribe on the audio side?
Well, what's really interesting is it feels
Tell
like
me.
you're just eavesdropping, like a real unscripted chat between a married couple. And they cover such a huge range of stuff.
Yeah, like what?
Oh, everyday things, food, money, sex, gossip, parenting, but also like therapy, bathroom etiquette, medical stuff, even Costco.
Okay, wide range.
Now, I did use Costco
Some of
in
that
the
is
prompt.
like pulled from our...
Some of it's pulled from our bio. I will tell you what was definitely not in our bio. Therapy's not. Bathroom etiquette is not.
Okay, I'm like having such an emotional reaction to this. So on Nobody's News, we talked about this woman who fell in love with an AI boyfriend
Yeah.
and ended up getting married,
Yeah.
in quotes. And I like made so much fun of her in my heart and my head and with my voice. But like, I find myself feeling flattered by them. and feeling cool that they're talking about us like that. Even though I know that it's
even
fake.
though we asked them to essentially talk about us.
It's
It's
a real
crazy.
mind fuck.
It's a real mind fuck. And let me tell you this.
And I trust them.
The key takeaway from the Stanford professor, was you have to think of the AI like it's working with you. It's not like a thing that you use. It's like a thing that you're working with to help you.
It's an employee.
Yeah, it's almost like thinking of it more as like a person.
Well, so and that's a slippery slope. Like, I have a very clear image of what I think they look like.
Mm-hmm.
I totally trust them. I want to listen to the whole thing because I'm very curious what advice they're going to give.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say when you started this by saying I hate AI or I don't like AI or whatever, I think AI is one of these things that you can know that it is going to lead to the downfall of humanity. Similar to like our parents' generation, knowing that the internet, like having a sense that the internet can lead to bad things.
Yeah.
But you don't want to not embrace it.
Well,
because like the future is going to be AI. So I think always approaching it with like, I have to remind myself listening to that. They're not real. They're not talking about you. They don't like you. They don't, it's like such a strange reaction I'm having. But you can't say, I don't like it with a brush. I think you have to say, it's the future, but I am acutely aware that of like our generation is going to be the guinea pigs before hopefully there are safety measures in place. And like with AI, more so than the internet, it feels like it is truly, existence for humans level of stakes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The stakes are high to have awareness of the pitfalls. The pitfalls are so massive.
Yeah.
And similar to, I'd say, like, not our generation, but probably the one after us, like porn.
Mm-hmm.
They were the guinea pigs. They were being exposed to this stuff. Like, and now people have like knowledge and safety measures in place and experience.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We're going into the great unknown.
It's totally. My areas where I've been like upset about it is one, I've tried to like use it before for our Nobody's News show to help do like research on stuff. And in real time, it gets stuff so wrong when it comes to like current events and whatnot. So that has been frustrating. Like, oh, it's worthless for that. You can't trust it. Right.
Right.
Then there's many huge conversations we could have about creativity, whether it's writing in your field, whether it's music in my field. All that being said, I'm very anti, but I do also understand that there will probably be things that it will do that like we just have to get on board with sort of.
Well, that is scary. I'm like, I would listen to their podcast. No, I mean, really.
Right. And to think
AI
how good this will
coming
get.
for all of our jobs. Like, unless you were a plumber, I keep saying that. That's the one job that I feel like has, plumber, physical construction of homes and stuff like that. But the AI podcasts that are going to be released, is scary.
Yeah.
The screenwriting for TV and film that's going to be, it's really scary.
It's going to be a lot. Yeah. Now, I do think this all made me realize, so like doing this, I was like, oh, I can see like really helpful ways that are really interesting. And this stuff is just going to get mind-boggling crazy. And I don't want to be left completely behind too. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. No.
So it made me realize like, oh, I need to like just learn some of this stuff on the very core level, whether it's just like, help me write this email a little bit or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's similar even. I mean, I don't even think this is quite the same, but I think it's really important for us as parents to stay up to date on apps that are coming out. Like, I think there was so much issue. You talked about Snapchat and ass pics today. Snapchat, I think, is not a concern of ours now, but like at one point, I think parents who just had no knowledge of what was happening on Snapchat and how it worked and could see the dangers of it were just like head in the sand about technology.
Yeah.
Could have missed a lot of things, that could have helped their teens as they're dealing with it. So I think it's important as parents to stay up to date on the like social apps, especially.
Yeah. Pretty wild times.
I literally want to hear that whole podcast. It's so weird. You can support our show on patreon.com/nobody's listening, right?
And go hit subscribe on YouTube.
Oh my gosh. That'd be great. Okay, good night.
Good night.